He's taken the mound as a major leaguer in 2 different millennia. He's plied his craft for 11 different teams, including one that no longer exists. He lit up the radar gun at 24 and continues to keep hitters guessing at 45. He set the baseball world on fire at 42 years old with 1 swing of the bat.
It's out of here! Bartolo has done it! The impossible has happened!
He brought the defending World Series champions to their knees while rarely topping 90. 21 seasons, over 500 starts, a lifetime of memorable moments. Bartolo Colon is the most interesting man in baseball.
Rangers baseball brought to you by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. And it is a beautiful evening for baseball here in Arlington, Texas. And what a great pitching matchup we have for you tonight. A couple of the more accomplished pitchers in baseball tonight. Diamondbacks and Rangers, first game in a quick 2-game series. Welcome in, everybody. Interleague baseball for you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nitkowski, and we talk about good pitching. Well, we'll talk about these 2 guys here in a moment. First, the Arizona Diamondbacks, very good team, currently first place in the National League West and bidding for a postseason spot. They hit the ball awfully well, score a lot of runs. They also pitched the ball really well, and Zack Greinke will be the man with the ball tonight.
Yeah, and this is a guy that they've really relied on to kind of be the ace of their staff, and a guy with a very decorated career. He's been doing it for a long time, has Zack Greinke. Of course, his career started in Kansas City, made his way to the Dodgers, but now here with the Arizona Diamondbacks, 184 career wins. Really impressive ERA, the strikeouts as well to go along with those innings and those wins, 4th most among active pitchers. But as I mentioned, as of late, he has been dominant here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Take a look at what he has done over his last 9, 2 or fewer runs allowed in all 9 of those starts with the 1.36 ERA as well. This is a guy with a full repertoire, and even though he's got a big arm, he does a really nice job of actually pitching, using that off-speed, those off-speed pitches really well. And so for the Rangers, who haven't seen him very much over the years, they'll have their hands full with Zack Greinke.
Yep, a guy who does not give you a lot to hit during the course of an outing, and he strikes out a lot of dudes as well, even as his career has advanced. Now, speaking of advanced careers, Bartolo Colon, we love it when he pitches. He's always a lot of fun, but really, he has done a very admirable job all year.
Yeah, and there's not too many guys that are significantly older than Zack Greinke, but certainly Bartolo Colon is the 45-year-old, and look what he has done over the course of his career. 21 seasons in the major leagues. Of course, those 246 wins are the most among active pitchers, 25 strikeouts of his own. Very impressive whip and what he has done over the years, and we just marvel every time we see Bartolo Colon go out there and do it, and especially in his last one, right? It was a big one for him as he became the all-time leader among Latin-born pitchers with the wins, 246 of those. A very nice moment for Bartolo and for the rest of the Rangers as well. You love the opportunity to be able to share in a big moment for one of your teammates. They all got to do that, as you see the congratulations going all the way around. And so Bartolo now will try to add to that lead that he has as he takes them out tonight.
A couple of compelling veteran pitchers and a couple of massive home run sluggers in this one. We'll put those 2 big bats in our spotlight when we come back.
Rangers Baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. No hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right.
Well, we're ready to go. Bartolo is warmed up. We'll shine our spotlight here in a moment, but Colon, 6 wins, 10 losses, a 5.18 ERA, making his 22nd start of the year for the Rangers tonight. Rainy all day, really rainy all week, but it cleared up a little bit before game time. Partly cloudy skies now above us, and we're set to go.
So the veteran right-hander winds it up, and we are underway with ball one. David Peralta leading things off for Arizona. We did not see him in the quick 2-game series we played in Arizona. He was a little banged up. Shoulder was bothering him, and it bothered him most when he swung the bat. So he missed those 2 games we played down in the desert. Came back right after that series and has been smoking hot for the Diamondbacks. Anyway, 303 overall this year, 21 home runs. And lifts this one out to left center field. Calhoun tracks it down one away.
That'll give us an opportunity to get to our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight. Want to get into a couple of the sluggers in tonight's game. Joey Gallo, you know him well, and you know about the great power. This 472-foot home run that he hit back on July 20th, the longest for Joey this season. And Paul Goldschmidt, well, here's his longest of the season. Opposite field, 450 feet. That was June 9th in Colorado. He went up over the bullpen. Really impressive to see Goldschmidt show that kind of power the other way. For both of these guys, you will see them, and we have seen them the entire year. Hit some long home runs for Joey, 8 of those over 430 feet for Paul Goldschmidt, 6 of those, and you see them second, 8th most in Major League Baseball, respectively.
1-1 to count on Goldschmidt. Gallo with a start in right field today. Goldschmidt, the first baseman for Arizona. And then Bartolo finds the corner, 1-2 the count. So he's got the little 6-game hitting streak going. The overall numbers outstanding for Goldschmidt, who got off to a very slow start this year. And he lines this one into right field, a base hit. So it's a 7-game hitting streak for him. Taking a look at the rest of the Diamondbacks, 65 wins, 54 losses. Peralta, Goldschmidt, and now A.J. Pollock, the center fielder. Then in the middle of things, it's Eduardo Escobar, Steven Souza Jr., Ketel Marte. And at the bottom of the order, the DH, Daniel Descalso, Nick Ahmed, slick fielding shortstop, and Jeff Mathis, the man who typically catches Zach Greinke.
I see some pretty good batting averages in the middle of that order here for the Diamondbacks. Overall, though, their offense has kind of been middle of the road. Their 533 runs scored is 17th in Major League Baseball, so sitting there right in the middle.
Pitch to strike, runner going, the throw to second, not in time. Goldschmidt with his 5th stolen base of the year.
Well, that is somewhat significant because that is the first stolen base Bartolo Colon has allowed all season long. Here in his 22nd start of the season, Paul Goldschmidt, a good base runner, not a guy necessarily who steals a ton of bases, but he's always been one of these guys that has had the all-around game. As you see Rougned Odor make a great pick. A pretty good attempt to try to get Goldschmidt, but not nearly in time. I kind of wondered how long Bartolo was going to be able to make it. Only Corey Kluber has had a longer streak this year.
Goldschmidt, sneaky fast. I mean, he's a big guy, but runs well. He's a lot of similarities between Goldschmidt and Joey Gallo.
Hey, take a look at this real quick. So we love our super slow-mo cameras and the stuff that they show us here. Tell me whether or not you think Paul Goldschmidt is out. Look at the tag, and it looks like he is not touching the bag there. Might have been tough to get that reviewed because of the dirt that got kicked up. Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't see maybe a little bit longer of a pause. And really, for me, selfishly, I just want to see Bartolo continue to have that streak of no stolen bases allowed.
0-2 to Pollock. Yeah, that one fouled away. So it's 174 innings for Bartolo Colon. And the first stolen base. That is a long, long streak. But over now, and you're right, it was close out at second base. I think if we looked at that a couple of times, though, I think to your point, you'd see a lot of that dirt having flown up between the foot and the bag that maybe obscured a real clean look. My guess is that Goldschmidt did get it cleanly.
Who asked you?
Well, I mean, I'm off. Any takers?
So, by the way, Corey Kluber still, I believe, is not allowed a stolen base this year. He is not, which is interesting because he allowed 15 last year. It's not like, okay, this guy's been dominant throughout his career where he has not allowed any stolen bases. But Corey Kluber so far this year in his 161 innings. What'd you say, 174 for Bart?
It was a 174
inning streak going back to last year.
Bartolo.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Kluber's at 236.
Oh, total?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing, again, because I mentioned that he allowed 15 last year. So whatever adjustment he made, because he's at 161 innings pitched this year. So obviously you're going pretty deep into last year for Corey Kluber. That's actually really incredible. 15 stolen bases last year, but he probably led his last one up in July.
I was going to say probably right around the midpoint of the season. Meanwhile, Pollock doing some battle here. And the 1-2 pitch out to right field. Gallo started in, now has to go back, and that one is over his head. And Goldschmidt, by virtue of the stolen base, will score easily. Pollock with an RBI double, and Arizona takes the early lead.
This ball was hit pretty firmly in for Joey Gallo. He just misread it. This happens a lot in right field. Remember, Joey Gallo has not played a ton of right field here. There's the two-seam fastball back door on the corner. Pretty well located, elevated a little bit, but I think Joey thought he had a beat on this, and this ball just kind of kept carrying on him. And so there's a couple of factors here. One, we have, that line drive that's right at you as an outfielder, which can be a difficult read. And then right field here in Texas, the ball has a tendency to carry a little bit, although there's not much of a wind factor so far this evening.
Just the 13th start he has made in right field. Not just this year, all of them this year in his career.
And is that 13th overall or 13th at Globe Life?
That's 13th overall.
Yeah, so even less than that here at this ballpark for Joey. And it's one of those ones. Outfielders will tell you that it's the toughest play in the game, the one that will fool you a little bit, that line drive right at you.
So the Diamondbacks get on the board. And Bartolo with a look at A.J. Pollock. Now you look at what the Diamondbacks have done in the first inning this year, and this is where they do damage. 96 runs in the first inning, most in Major League Baseball. So they love to jump out on you. Torey Lovullo's team gets those early leads, and that will certainly be an advantage for his starter, Zach Greinke, tonight. (2-0). Now, when the Diamondbacks score first in a game, overwhelmingly positive results for them this year. 46-21 when they score first. (2-0) to Escobar. That one misses. 3-0. Eduardo Escobar, acquired from the Minnesota Twins a couple of days before the deadline. Diamondbacks sent 3 players the other way, and they get a guy who can man third base for them on a nightly basis. And there's a strike, 3-1. Bartolo's not going to walk that many, and he's certainly not going to do it on 4 pitches. That was close, but not a shock to see him work his way back into the count. Let's see, Brian Knight, our plate umpire. Full count all of a sudden.
And for opposing hitters, they know that too. They know Bartolo Colon is going to be in the strike zone. He's going to do it a lot. He's going to do it with a lot of fastballs, and so you're ready to hit. He kind of counts on the aggressiveness of opposing hitters, and as long as he's hitting his spots, he's in pretty good shape.
(3-2). Whoa, my, that one ripped toward the Rangers dugout, and Jeff Bannister, now you know you're alive. That one was right at him. Whew.
Let's take a look here at this ball that was ripped off the bat of Escobar, and you see Jeff Bannister a little pumped up first inning. Escobar's maybe one of the guys that most people don't realize, one of the guys that is all about having a little bit of fun during the game, good personality. So he's playing along a little bit there with Banny after that foul ball. I'd say get down in the bunker. Play it safe.
Anthony Posty's looking on like, I don't know there, Skip. Whew. That one got in there hot. Meanwhile, it's an 8-pitch at bat for Escobar. 1 out, Pollock at second. This pitch will be number 8 in the at-bat. Escobar, a switch hitter, batting at the left side.
And a good hitter too. You see him fouling off some pretty tough pitches here from Bartolo Colon. And again, Bartolo lives on the edges when things are kind of going his way. That's where he is at. And this is that front door two-seam fastball again. And Escobar keeps his hands in, lines that one into the stands. He's been good in these spots, by the way. 391 this season with runners in scoring position. He's got A.J. Pollock out there in scoring position right now.
Now a 3-2. That one in the air left field, and Calhoun.
Well, let's get to our Shiner light blonde pitch arsenal for Bartolo Colon. I mentioned the fastballs. You see a lot of them between the four-seamer and the two-seamer. And it's 79%. You'll see the changeup as well, 11%. The slider, 8%. Every once in a while, he's been throwing that cutter, something we've seen a little bit more from Bartolo Colon. But it really is all about the two-seam fastball, the location of that pitch that is averaged 87 miles an hour. That's the one you got to keep an eye on, and that's key to Bartolo Colon's success.
So Colon now to Steven Souza Jr. Batting 5th today. Power numbers are down for Souza. 20 RBIs this year. 3 home runs. You see the on base plus slugging though. Last 21 starts at .950. So he's been pretty productive lately. Takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Well, he had the injury. What was the injury that he had? You know, he was hurt. Missed a decent amount of time this year. I don't know if it's a little bit kind of slow coming back here for.
He had a right pec
Souza.
strain. He was diving for a ball and strained his pectoral. High fly ball down that right field line and foul. Oop, in and then out of the seats.
Yeah, so it's only been 40 games played for Souza this year, who came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. They were pretty excited. Looked like a good get for them. He had 30 home runs last year with Tampa. Never a high batting average guy, never a high on base percentage guy necessarily, but he's shown some really good power last couple of years. 47 home runs coming into this season. But only 3 so far. But the Diamondbacks are in that situation right now as they sit in first place. Doesn't matter that he missed as much time as he did. He's swinging a really good bat now, and that's all they need for these last 7 weeks of the season.
This one hit hard over third and down into the left field corner. Pollock will score easily. Souza around second, thought about it, but he'll be satisfied with a double. Second double the inning, and it's 2-0 Arizona.
Let's go back and take a look at this pitch from Bartolo Colon to Steven Souza. There's a good look at the two-seam fastball grip, and he got it in. It's a nice job by Steven Souza to pull the hands and watch him get the barrel to this ball and not hook it too much. His ability to keep that fair. If you take a standard swing and get around it, that ball is going to be foul. If you keep the hands in and work them through the zone, you got a much better chance of getting that barrel to the ball, not hooking it, and keeping it fair. That's exactly what Souza did. It's a strong man right there.
Now Ketel Marte. Marte, how about that? 10 triples and the 10 home runs. Has 18 doubles today. A lot of extra base hits. Now their ballpark plays to a lot of triples. We saw it while we were there. He lifts this one high in the air out to center field. To Shields. It's his way underneath it, and that will end the inning. But a 2-run top of the first for the Diamondbacks. Well, Colon gets him into the dugout. Now the Rangers to go to work. Come to bat. Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Shin-Soo Choo is the DH leading it off. Rougned Odor at second base batting second. Then it's Elvis Andrus, Adrian Beltre, and right fielder Joey Gallo. Chirinos catching. Guzman at first base bats seventh. Calhoun in left, and Delano DeShields rounds it out in center field. So that's the Rangers' order tonight against that man, Zack Greinke, making his 25th start of the year. 12 wins, 7 losses, and a .289 ERA. Well, he gets right in there with strike one.
See Greinke coming out. First pitch changeup, it looked like, to Shin-Soo Choo, kind of an interesting choice, but that's the respect that Choo gets. We've seen him jump on that first pitch fastball pretty often this season and be successful in those spots.
One pitch. Ooh, swing and a miss. Choo tried to stop himself but couldn't. Been a good year for power again for Choo with 20 home runs. Got a couple of them, in fact, in Arizona in our recent trip there. Rangers played 2 games at the end of July in Arizona. And he reaches out and bounces that one, or rather lines that one right back to Greinke.
Let's take a look at our Shiner light blonde pitch arsenal for Zack Greinke. The veteran really does a nice job of mixing up. The fastball you will see 47% of the time, but it's a changeup, slider as well. He throws a curveball at 9% of the time, and yeah, you're reading that right. An eephus pitch, and essentially what that is a really slow curveball. He takes a lot off it. He uses it just 4% of the time. How about this? An .079 batting average against that pitch, and Choo just saw 2 of them. So he's definitely using it higher than the 4% rate so far in this game. And it's funny because we talk about, when it comes to qualifying pitches, a lot of it is done automatically. And so even using the MLB at-bat app, and I'm kind of looking over the Choo at-bat, they had the 68-mile-an-hour pitch as a curveball. That was the second pitch of the at-bat. The fourth pitch, also 68 miles an hour, same pitch, but that one came up as the eephus. And essentially just is a super slow curveball, right? We've seen Darvish do the same thing when he was here. Not very often. Mix it in there once in a while.
It's a little bit of a misuse of the word eephus.
It is. It is. But we use the StatCast pitch classifications when we put our arsenals together and listed it as an eephus, and said, all right, let's go with it. Even though it's just a really, really slow curveball, and it's tough to sell. You can't just slow down your arm. It is the way that you grip the ball and the way you squeeze it and everything else. But anyway, eephus is fun to say.
Yes.
We'll try to get in there as many times as possible.
He is Greinke. I don't know, versatile. He's a bit of an experimenter, right? He'll throw a lot of pitches. That might have been the quote-unquote eephus right there. Hit well out to center and tracked down by A.J. Pollock, 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks defense, brought to you by Jack in the Box. And here they are: David Peralta, A.J. Pollock, Steven Souza Jr. in the outfield for Torey Lovullo's club. And in his infield, he's got Eduardo Escobar, Nick Ahmed, Vitel Marte, Paul Goldschmidt, and Jeff Mathis is doing the catching.
All right, 2 gone. And it brings up Elvis Andrus.
That definitely was it. We've seen 3 of them. I mean, it's under 70 miles an hour. There's no other pitch that he throws. Now, his curveball averages 73 miles per hour. But I think, without a doubt, the super slow curveball, eephus, whatever you want to call it, I'll call it the eephus. I think we've seen it 3 times already this game.
Yeah, I prefer to go with like Bugs Bunny curve or something.
Sounds official.
0-2. Andrus at 286. 4 home runs this year, 25 driven in. Well, the Rangers draw a tough one tonight in Zack Greinke. A guy who now is many years into his career, still pitching very well. In fact, pitching as well as he has really at any point in his career. The run he's on lately has been quite impressive. Former Cy Young Award winner in 2009. And he strikes out Andrus. It's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first, and he needed just 12 pitches to do it. We go to the second. Your local Buick dealer. One inning in, and now to the second. We'll see the bottom third of the order for Arizona. Bartolo Colon's first pitch, and Descalso shanks it away foul. Descalso, the DH. And you can see he's getting on base with some regularity these days. He's in a hole 0-2. Had a home run yesterday. And Torey Lovullo, I mean, he's kind of guy who seems to be somewhat locked in right now. Said, I just want to keep the line moving for him, keep him going. Lovullo putting him in there as the DH today. Might see Goldschmidt do a little bit of it as well. And Descalso strikes out swinging. That was a quick out here in the second. With one away, we check in for the first time tonight with Emily Jones.
Well, once he notched win number 246 of his career in his last outing, Jeff Bannister said they will handle Bartolo Colon a little bit differently. Obviously, baseball is not a game about personal accomplishments, but in this unique season for the Rangers, they really did want Bartolo to get to that mark, that 246. And now they're more concerned with getting those younger players some experience, maybe letting him have a little bit more rest depending on the game situation. But he did acknowledge that they will handle him differently from here on out.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. You know, you think about where the Rangers are right now. Of course, Hirado was here, so there's one of your younger starters that's taking starts. Martin Perez, because he missed some time, you certainly want to see him take all of his starts. I guess the question just becomes, is there somebody else in the system that you want to see maybe get some more starts? Right now there's 6 guys in the rotation. Is there a time where you want to have it go to 5? You see Hutchison and Gallardo right there, Hirado sitting in between them. It'll be kind of fascinating to watch to see what the Rangers do and who else they may want to take a look at. September is just around the corner. Of course, rosters will expand on September 1st.
Off the handle. Ooh, little wacky spin back to Colon. And Nick Ahmed put out 2 away.
Dave Raymond sandwich. Hey, let's take a look at the Rangers defense, delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Willie Calhoun, Delano DeShields, and Joey Gallo are in that outfield tonight for Jeff Bannister. And in the infield, it's Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor, Ronald Guzman, and Robinson Chirinos. Wish I could have my ball check up like that. That was nice.
Potentially more of a 5-iron right there
for you. Oh, no, check you out.
It's a bad spin. Jeff Mathis. Oh, he's right up there hacking. Ooh, just foul. Mathis doing the catching today, batting 9th. And they like to pair him up with Zach Greinke. You see the overall numbers for him. The average just above the Mendoza line, but better lately for him. Near miss, 1-1. We noted before the ball game the Diamondbacks leading the National League West by a game over the Dodgers. And that's a big story. The other big story is that these uniforms in year 2 don't draw quite the attention that they did last year. I don't think they're any more attractive than they were last year. But
gunmetal gray.
Fly ball out to right field, and Gallo puts it away. An 11-pitch second inning. Nicely done by Bartolo as he bounces back. Inning and a half in, Diamondbacks lead 2-0. The World Casino and Resort leaderboard. Adrian Beltre steps in. You can see interleague hits for Adrian. 359 in his career, and just short of Derek Jeter. And then Ichiro Suzuki. By the end of the year, there's at least, what, 10 interleague games remaining on the schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be the all-time leader.
Just need 9 hits. Figure he might not play every single game, but play most of them. It's another notch on the belt.
Runs her up the middle. And Nick Ahmed takes care of him, 1 away. All right, so Zach Greinke, very good there in the first inning. Our Kubota power stats on Greinke. 1 of 3 pitchers all time. He's won a Cy Young, a Silver Slugger, and a Gold Glove. He joins Fernando Valenzuela and Oral Hershiser. The other thing those 3 share in common is that they all played for the Dodgers at one point in their career. 3 Gold Gloves for Greinke. The Cy Young in 2009. And the Silver Slugger he got in 2013.
It's kind of a nice collection of awards. You talk about getting yourself an all-around pitcher. What do they do in the NFL, that little amateur game? What is it? Run, kick?
Oh, the pass, punt, and kick.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, a little bit. Gotta have those abilities. And
pitch, hit, field.
Yeah.
He's done them all. He's gotten some major awards.
Punt, pass, and kick.
Yeah, the PPK.
The PPK. Is that right? Is that
That's
what you
right.
called it?
That's what we did.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike on Gallo. 31 home runs, 71 RBIs this year for Joey. They plan to pull. No real surprise there, and he takes a pretty healthy rip at that one.
Yeah, Joey Gallo certainly used to seeing those shifts. And they've cost him. Here's the switcheroni right now, where Escobar is going to go to where Ahmed was just standing. We see a lot of teams making adjustments in 2-strike counts. And I will make the assumption that they think there's a better chance, at least in that count, that Joey might hit the ball to the left side. I don't know, because Ahmed's got the most range. But instead it's a strikeout as Joey Gallo chases this breaking ball out of the strike. So look where everything was located. Nothing above the zone at all. Nothing above the bottom third of the zone. Zach Greinke staying down low and out of the zone against Joey Gallo.
So 5 up, 5 down, and it's Robinson Chirinos now, 219 average. See that little note there at the bottom of the screen. 30 of his 61 hits have gone for extra bases. Talking about that the other day as he found this one right back at you, CJ. Come on.
Yeah. That came really close though to hitting our fancy 8-ball camera.
Yeah.
That would have been unfortunate. The camera that's actually shooting us right now almost went down. This guy right here. Be grateful. It's Dave's lucky 8-ball camera.
1-1 on Chirinos.
Was it Jerry Davis that did the Adrian Beltre on deck circle move,
on deck
right?
circle. Mm-hmm. Yep. He's the man down there at first base today.
Wonder what Adrian can do to create another awesome giveaway that we had here. So check this out. We showed you that at bat for Joey Gallo and kind of where all those pitches were located. Well, this is what Zach Greinke does. 77% of his pitches thrown are on the edges or out of the zone. That is the 4th highest percentage in Major League Baseball. Kind of like Bartolo Colon, living on the edge is really important. As you see that fastball down right at the knees. I mean, it sounds simple. It's kind of the key to pitching, right? You stay out of the middle of the plate as much as possible, but there are some guys that do it better than others, and Zach Greinke, 4th best in baseball as far as locating around the edge and off.
Two pitch. Oh, he waited on that one, but yanks it foul. Still out in front. Keeps the count 2-2.
And Robinson Chirinos hoping he could stay back just a little bit longer. He did a pretty good job. This is so difficult to do because look how slow that pitch is. It's up in the zone, but it's 69 miles per hour. The idea of trying to stay back when you're seeing a fastball at 90, 91 is really difficult to do. Robbie hit it hard, but he just couldn't stay back any longer.
Bugs Bunny curveball.
Yeah.
Tough.
Bugs Bunny throws the changeup. I see where you're going.
That's kind of what you think.
He was fastball changeup.
Off the plate.
According to StatCast. According to LooneyCast. I see what you're trying to do. Keep efforting.
Well, let's put it this way. It was not an ephus.
No, it's not. It's a curveball. It's misdiagnosed.
Little comebacker. And with a couple of Gold Gloves makes the play. So it's another 1-2-3. Greinke's already made a couple of plays on the mound. We played 2 complete. Diamondbacks with the early lead.
Top 3-2 2-0. Diamondbacks leading the Rangers. It is time for our progressive fan of the game. It is Peyton Lee. And Peyton, you came all the way from?
Nevada.
Nevada. Where in particular in Nevada?
Henderson.
And so let me guess your favorite player is?
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, because this is the hometown of Joey Gallo, Henderson, Nevada. That gets you the progressive fan of the game. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys?
Very nice. That's a long way to go to see your favorite player. But awfully cool of him to make the trip and come out and see Joey.
I mean, the connection anytime somebody's from your hometown, right?
Yep.
We can talk about it forever. Who's the big stars out of Gearing?
Kip Gross.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Kip Gross is awesome. I finally met up with him in the minor leagues, and he was starting as the next pitch lofted out to deep left field. Calhoun makes the catch. So he was starting that day, and it was like the last day or whatever. First inning, maybe a 2-game series. Any case, I went in to find him in the clubhouse, and he was on the trainer's table, but I woke him up anyway.
Yeah, nice.
It's like, hey, Kip. At that point, he was probably in his late 30s, wrapping up his career in the minor leagues, and not feeling real great about it. But I know he appreciated me waking him up.
Yeah, that was nice of you. Talk some Gearing.
Yeah. Ground ball down to third. Beltray. Little pirouette takes care of Bill Schmidt. 2 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break, and a man who's never been to Gearing, Nebraska. Here is John Radigan.
Yeah, he certainly is, and they put him in that leadoff spot, and he's been doing really well. I'm going to fact check you a little bit here, though. It says here Kip Gross was born in Scotts Bluff, Nebraska.
Well,
Are you exaggerating this from Gearing?
No. He went to Gearing High School.
Oh, okay.
And
took a bus in from.
Then he ended up with his
town.
fortune, with his baseball fortune. He built a home out in the Wildcat Hills. So I mean,
sounds pretty fortunate. Yeah. You might be surprised I'm not the biggest celebrity from Suffern, New York. Walt Weiss is our claim to fame. It's a big one.
Weiss.
He got a parade. So that's one of the 2 major leaguers that
it's a World Series ring, right?
Rookie of the year.
Does he have a World Series ring?
Oh yeah, believe so. Yep. It's all about Walt Weiss in Suffern, New York.
Ball and 2 strikes on A.J. Pollock.
And that girl that played the ukulele in America's Got Talent.
What?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, last year she crushed a little, maybe 12, 13-year-old girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that is something.
I don't even want to say that I'm third, because it's probably unlikely. Stop counting after 2.
Miss America came from Gearing, Nebraska.
Come on, how big is Gearing?
Let me tell you something. Small town now. She used to water my mom's flowers.
Get out of here.
Yep. Just to water the flowers when my mom went out of town. She was homeschooled just up around the corner, and she became Miss America. It's a couple years ago. It's like, I don't know, 2009, 10, somewhere in there.
She won it all?
Won the whole thing. How about them apples?
It's pretty good. I mean, you got me on the Tommy Topper.
Pollock goes down looking. 8 pitches in the 3rd inning for Bartolo Colon. We played 2.5. Right. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Rangers still looking for their first base runner. Ronald Guzman, Willie Calhoun, Delano DeShields due here in the 3rd against Zach Greinke. Teresa Scanlon, by the way, Miss America.
Yeah.
2010.
Oh, Grace Vanderwall, 2016 winner of America's Got Talent.
You know what we need to set up is like a tug-of-war championship between the 2 cities. Get them together. A tug-of-war.
What is the population approximately, would you say?
Probably about 5,000 these days. Guzman hammers the ball. Right field. Gone! Over the bullpen and right. And Ronald Guzman with the hot bat right now. I think it's the Rangers on the board. 3 home runs against the Yankees the other night. Comes home and hits a bomb here.
And more big smiles from Ronald Guzman. He really has been locked in, not just the home runs, but he had some good at-bats in the last game that he played on Saturday in New York, and he gets himself an all-speed pitch that is down. We talk a lot about the long arms of Ronald Guzman, and take a look at these StatCast numbers, 107 miles per hour off the bat, and that one went nearly 420 feet. And Ronald Guzman is feeling it. He is getting comfortable at the big league level, and he's doing some pretty special things.
So Greinke fires one a little bit in. Guzman, some congratulations. And Elvis was impressed. Calhoun, a little chopper over the mound. One away.
Let's take it back to what happened in New York on August 10th. This was a lot of fun to watch. Ronald Guzman in the Bronx, in Yankee Stadium, a guy who said he hated the Yankees growing up as a Boston Red Sox fan. Well, he got his opportunity to exact some of that revenge from when he was a child. That bomb, by the way, went well over the bullpen to right center field. And then his third one of the night, opposite field, down the line, squeaked it out. An historic night. His family was there. It's the first time that his father ever got to watch him play in the big leagues. And what a gift from Ronald Guzman to his family, who was up from the Dominican. 3 home runs. It's the first time a Ranger rookie had ever done it. It was the first time a rookie had ever done it in the Bronx, in Yankee Stadium, and the youngest player to do it since Mickey Mantle in New York.
The Shields hammers the ball out to right field, but it's going to hang up a little bit. Souza reels it in. 2 away. So Greinke, who's now given up 21 home runs and a little better than 150 innings, not exempt from surrendering the long ball. I wouldn't call it necessarily a big problem for him, but certainly if there's a weakness on his stat line, that might be it. Now Chu, who lined out in the first.
Well, not only did he line out, but how often do you put an L1 in your scorecard? Not too often. Watch this right here. You got to be ready. He puts himself in perfect fielding position. It looked like that was headed right to Nick Ahmed, who was playing in the shift anyway. But that was an impressive play for Zach Greinke. First at bat against Chu. That's just not put an L1 in your scorecard very often. I don't feel like I do.
You know, I mean, it happens, but that was a nice play. I mean, the other guy on the mound tonight has done it a few times this year.
Has he caught it, or he usually knocks them down?
Yeah, I mean, he's smart enough to know that he can just knock them down.
Doing some glove work down there is Bartolo. He's almost like he's a little kid with his glove on. Most big leaguers don't put their glove on until the inning's actually over, and you have to head out there. He's ready.
Chu lines this one out to center field, and a base hit. Rangers have another base runner.
And their second base hit of the night. You're going to watch Chu here line this ball right back up the box. Another off-speed pitch. It really is amazing how many curveballs we're seeing here early on from Zach Greinke. And whether you want to call it the curveball, the eephus pitch, it seems like he's using it a little bit more against the Rangers, and that could be maybe part of the scouting report this evening for Zach Greinke. Check out that pitch range, 67 miles an hour on one of those slow breaking balls. The fastball has reached 91, and I mentioned it's just kind of interesting to see the difference for Zach Greinke. Combined, he's thrown his curveball about 13% of the time when we showed you the eephus pitch, but you put it all together and it's been about 13%. Tonight, 23% already. That's a significant difference. So Zach Greinke trying to establish that curveball early, kind of backwards of what you would see in most situations for a pitcher. Fastballs, changeups early, then you go to the curveballs and sliders a little bit more.
He goes 2-0 on Rougned Odor. He flied out in the first inning, 0 for 1. Rangers second baseman doing a lot of things right lately. Good road trip. On up, and he hits this ball in the air out to right field, but just underneath it. Souza hauls it in, and the inning is done.
That was a lot of fun to see Ronald Guzman back in the lineup and doing what he has been doing lately, which is hit the long ball. Do it here against Zach Greinke on a breaking ball down. Good extension. And this ball hammered deep to right field.
Colon ready to go in the 4th inning. His first pitch a little bit wide to Eduardo Escobar. Escobar, Steven Souza Jr., and Ketel Marte. Colon has retired the last 7 in a row and hits the corner there. It's 1-1. So the Diamondbacks, I mean, they jumped on Bartolo in that first inning for a couple of runs. And they've done that to a lot of pitchers this year, leading Major League Baseball in terms of first inning scoring. Torey Lovello's team right now also leading their division in the National League West, a game lead over the Dodgers, a game and a half over Colorado, and the Giants are 6 back. Got in as a wild card team last year. And this year designs on winning that division. It's a beauty. Strike 3 called. Escobar knew it. 1 away. Well, you mentioned earlier some of the great accomplishments of Bartolo Colon, and now that he has accomplished some of those win landmarks, his next goal is career innings among Latin-born pitchers. You see where he is right now, behind only Dennis Martinez, Juan Marichal, and Luis Tiant. Bartolo can catch Tiant fairly easily. Probably even Marichal pretty easily, but it's going to take a little more work for him to catch Dennis Martinez.
So at least for Juan Marichal, it'll get him the highest, if he can get there, most innings by a Dominican-born pitcher, which I believe is probably really important to him. He kind of brought that up a little bit. And even if he passes Luis Tiant, he's never going to catch him on the facial hair. That Fu Manchu is pretty special. You don't see that one too often anymore, but I don't know why we don't. Bartolo would be fantastic with one of those.
He would be very good with the Fu Manchu. Ball and 2 strikes on Souza. Let's see,
right?
Yeah, that's a look of a bygone era right there.
Bartolo looks older than all those guys in that picture too, right?
Well, I mean,
he's 45 years old.
Count stays 1-2. 45 years old. Oldest player in big league baseball. You see Souza had that double earlier. He might have been misled by a certain color announcer on Souza's power numbers this year.
Huh?
This one off the plate. 2
Did
and
I say
2.
3 homers?
No. You said that the numbers are down this year because of the injuries, and he has missed some time for injury. But
yeah,
it was 30 home runs last year in 500 and change at bats. If he had the same number of at bats this year, he's on pace for 11 home runs. And this one's going to fall well short. Calhoun is there. 2 away. So it's not just the injuries with Souza. He's just not hitting the home run.
No, I know. But point being, I'm saying, was he slow kind of getting back? You know what I mean? If it was the injury slowing him down, I guess was kind of what I was getting at. Not quite feeling himself going to a new team. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Not that his rate was going to put him in line with where he was, but you know, we've seen it, right? Elvis gets back from his injury, a little bit of a slow start. Elvis, a guy that showed us some power, and you know, last year has been on a pretty interesting track. The last couple of years, really good to see him and what he has done. And you miss some time, you get thrown off. It takes a little while to get that power stroke back.
Marte with a harmless ground out to the right side. How about that? An 11 pitch inning for Colon. That's 10 straight for the Big Sexy. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Christian music group Mercy Me. They're going to perform a post-game concert this Sunday afternoon, presented by Buckner International. Watch the Angels and Rangers, a 2:05 game, then enjoy the concert after the game. Just go to TexasRangers.com/concerts for game tickets, as well as information on how you can see Mercy Me from the field. So, Andrus to lead things off here against Greinke. And he rolls one right up the middle. That's a base hit. It's interesting. The Diamondbacks were all over Bartolo Colon in the first inning. He has since retired 10 straight. And Greinke was really good in the first 2 innings, with the Rangers starting to make better and better contact.
Yeah, good swings against Greinke. I think, you know, based on what he has shown so far, if you're a Ranger hitter, second time through the order, you could start looking for some off-speed pitches, knowing that he has stayed away from his fastball, hasn't used it very aggressively so far. And it's also kind of fastball, even though it's a good one, it's not one necessarily that you're worried about, you know, kind of getting blown past you. Even though he's been locked in, he's thrown great. We mentioned it in our open, 9 straight starts of 2 runs or less. So the Rangers taking some pretty comfortable swings against those off-speed pitches of Zack Greinke.
My Beltre up there. So Andrus, one of the things he's done well lately, now has hit in 23 consecutive home games. Longest streak here since 2010, when Josh Hamilton went 29 straight at home. Elvis recently saw that 19-game hitting streak overall come to an end, and there's a strike to Beltre, 1-1. One for 4 yesterday in New York. He played very conventionally on the infield against Adrian, and he'll take inside. 2-1. I mean, that is as straight up as you'll see any player played these days.
It almost looks odd these days. It's right out of the textbook.
Two and two. We talked so much about Bartolo Colon on those nights in which he starts, and his stature in the game, the length of his great career. And of course, we do that all the time with Adrian Beltre. Takes low one in.
It's been a lot of fun too to watch him climb up the list. The names that he is passing over in New York. He had a home run past Chipper Jones on the all-time home run list.
3,136 hits in his career, 19th all time. And 5 hits away from Tony Gwynn. He pulls this one foul. Full count. And you look at these two guys together on the same team, only active players to play in 20 or more major league seasons. And they've shared a clubhouse all year.
I mean, it really is incredible when you throw it up there. And yeah, it's kind of cool. No, it's amazing to be able to hang in this game for 20 big league seasons, especially now as the game has gotten younger, and general managers and decision makers when it comes to the roster are certainly leaning younger when they're trying to build those rosters.
There goes bouncer right side, and they will take care of Beltre. That just missed hitting Elvis Andrus. I'm not sure how he managed to escape being hit.
Well, this is why you do agility work in the offseason. Watch the quick feet. You see Elvis taking off. He sees it, slow down, speed up a little bit, try to serve as a slight distraction, hoping that Marte would miss to see like there, boom, kind of slow and get the legs up in the air. I think he definitely assumed that Marte was only going to throw that ball to second base. Elvis came off the bag a little bit. Had he actually flipped it to short, that could have gotten a little interesting.
So we'll call it a productive out for Adrian, and now Joey Gallo. He takes low. Gallo struck out of the second inning. Big, strong, left-handed hitter. takes a strike. Time for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. And the last 10 home games for Gallo, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, the average nearly 360. He's reached base safely in all 10 of those games. Two and one. The home run he hit in the last home game here, right before we went to New York, that game against Seattle. It's his last at bat. Pitch came so far in, almost hit him. He was so tied up, so jammed up on that thing. He said afterwards he was angry at himself for even swinging the bat, for starting that swing. Just so upset that he got fooled. Of course, he hit it out. Managed just to flex his arms and muscle it out over the right field wall. A good spot for him here. 3-1 should get something good to hit. Elvis out at second base. The 3-1. And there's ball 4. So 2 men on now. Greinke laboring just a smidge.
Yeah, he is, and this is a guy that really does a nice job of filling up the strike zone. Looked a little bit uncomfortable there, but how about this walk per 9 rate for Zack Greinke? Second best in the National League right now. 1.7 is an elite level walk rate. So to see Joey Gallo draw that walk makes it all the more impressive that he's able to lay off some of those pitches. You know, again, Greinke's a guy that relies on edges and out of the zone and inducing those swings and misses and getting hitters to go out of the zone, chase some pitches, but not Joey Gallo in that spot.
So the couple of men on, we'll deal with Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos put a little bouncer back to the mound in the second inning. 0 for 1. Greinke, meanwhile, his 3rd year with the Diamondbacks. Previously, it's been a couple of years with the Dodgers. Longtime Kansas City Royal. That's the team with whom he came up. This one popped up back behind the plate, out of play. Greinke, very highly touted young player growing up. 6th pick overall, first-round selection by the Royals in 2002, and was drafted as a shortstop pitcher. His first year in rookie ball, he played both, although only briefly, as that one is outside. He gave up shortstop like in a workout or 2, maybe. It didn't take him very long. He just said, nope, I think I'm going to just do the pitching thing. Gave his glove to Andres Blanco, with whom he was working out as a rookie, and Blanco claims he still has the glove. And he was pretty impressed with Greinke overall and knew he was going to be a great pitcher. Everybody knew he was going to be a great pitcher. And to his credit, let's face it, he figured that out quickly enough. Why am I wasting my time at short?
And obviously, we talked about it earlier, has been a good defender of his position. Go back to those shortstop roots. But check this out. Marte still has the ball.
Yeah, that's a good try.
And obviously, he's been really good handling the bat. Elvis takes note of that attempted move by Marte. Okay, put that in my back pocket. I'll remember that one. And when the time is right, payback will be mine.
Anderson, Gallo out there. Good hitters count. And the 2-1 at Chirinos. And he'll foul it back. We talked about how Greinke, long career now, 15 years. And here he is on the all-time strikeout list, closing in on Sandy Koufax, 6 short of the great Sandy Koufax. Appropriate enough here on National left-handers day. He'd be closing in on one of the all-time greats. This ball hit well, high and deep to left and gone! And Chirinos with a 3-run bomb puts the Rangers in front. It's a 4-2 ball game.
Talking earlier about how the home run has been an issue for Zach Greinke this year. He came in, he allowed 14 home runs to right-handed hitters, 6 to lefties. Well, 1 each now from the Rangers. Take a look at the changeup. There's a good look at the grip. Not a bad pitch at all, but Robinson Chirinos is all over it. Kind of thigh high, down far enough, and got that move. But we saw Robinson Chirinos crush a hanging breaking ball earlier, but foul. He's able to stay back long enough on this changeup and hit it 106 miles an hour and nearly 445 feet.
So an impressive shot by Chirinos. Rangers now with the lead, and Ronald Guzman, who got the scoring started for the Rangers last inning, stands in.
Tough call there. Guzman didn't like it. You see that conversation going back and forth, and he's got a legitimate argument. That's a tough take and a tough call for a guy that does a good job and has done a really good job working the strike zone, and he's locked in. That's frustrating for a hitter.
Benny's been a busy guy over there.
He can handle the soft ones. He'll take those as opposed to the Escobar line drive that came his way. Hand up. Good job keeping an eye on his team and throwing that to a fan.
Ball and 2 strikes to Guzman. It's this ball out over short. That's a base hit into left field. Another Rangers base runner. You know, we talked about it in the open today. Greinke's been on an incredible run. 4 runs allowed tonight. It's the most since June 13th for him when he gave up 5 runs to the Pirates.
Yeah, not quite looking the same here. You know, it just kind of seemed odd to me that he came out and he was throwing as many off-speed pitches as he was throwing right from the beginning. Remember, he started the game with an off-speed pitch to Chu, and that was his game plan coming into tonight. But even the usage of the breaking ball is probably what really has stuck out here. And the Rangers have done a really good job. And you know, listen, he's been efficient those first 3 innings. His pitch counts were all terrific. But this 4th inning, there's just 1 out, and the Rangers continue to work Zach Greinke.
So some struggles for Greinke. And now Willie Calhoun with just 1 out and a man on. See if he can keep the line moving. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Rangers. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Diamondbacks. Willie trying to hold up. He did.
And it's not just the struggles of Zach Greinke, but also how good the offense has been here with the Texas Rangers. How about their offensive ranks in all of baseball since August 1st? Been crushing with runners in scoring position, scoring runs, the on base, the slugging, all where you'd like to see them. And you love seeing that 281 batting average. I mean, 281 by today's standards is a huge number. The Red Sox as a team for the entire season are hitting 270. That's a big number. You go back to 2000 or 2001, that was the league average.
Whoa,
it sounds crazy, right? And that's, we've gotten so far away. Its average continues to go down. But 280 is a big deal now. So for the Rangers, this run here since August 1st, the fact that they've been hitting 281.
You tell me league average.
So you looked at me so funny, you're making me double check it.
Yeah, that seems like an absurdly high number.
I'm almost positive it was 2000 or 2001. I'm going to go back. I'm going to have it here for you in a second.
3-0 pitch, and that one misses, ball 4. Greinke with his second walk of the inning. Troy Lovello chewing that gum a little faster.
Yes, league batting average in 2000 for the entire league was 270. I only look those kinds of things up just so I can continue to compile my excuse lists for why things weren't necessarily going my way. That period.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous number. Well, here is Delino to Shields, trying to continue things, and he'll take a strike.
And not to leave everybody hanging. So this season, 248, the lowest batting average. I think it's going to bring you back to 1968, I believe, before the mound changed.
50 years ago, yeah. The year of the pitcher, 1968, and here we are again. A fastball from Greinke. You could hear him grunt. He's trying to put a little more on it as he gets increasingly frustrated here.
That's not his game anymore, though, right? He's not the power guy. There was a time in his career where that fastball would average 94 miles an hour. He is a little bit craftier these days, and he's been trying to be that guy with the off-speed pitch usage. And a grunt on a 83-mile-an-hour slider, I don't know. It's a little bit of a different feel. I think that speaks more to the frustration about how Greinke feels right now. I don't think he's going to get any more on that slider by trying to grunt through it.
Two walks in the inning. 3 Rangers hits, including the home run by Chirinos. Back to second again. Greinke, it has always been sort of an unusual guy. His career is one where there have been some struggles with some of the teams and how to deal with him exactly. Enormously talented. And he delivers a strike. It's 2-2. But shortly after getting into the big leagues, 2004, they saw this a guy who had a little bit of difficult time socially in the clubhouse, interviews, that sort of thing. And the Royals encouraged George Brett to invite him into his home to stay. And so he did. He lived with George Brett. Played video games with the kids. Ate at home with George and the family. And you know, who is better than George Brett? A guy who knew how to play the media, be a great teammate. And they figured that would be really helpful. Even Brett afterwards was like, yeah, he's a different cat. There's a lot going on there. The next year, 2005, with the Royals, he went 5-17 and really struggled. 3-2 pitch. Delino lofts this one into center field. And there are 2 away. So in spring training, after a 17-loss season, Royals brought in a new pitching coach, Bob McClure, and Bob McClure met him at spring training. Before spring training then, they were training in Surprise at the time. And so he invited him to go golfing first. So he said, well, we'll go golfing, we'll just get to know each other. And so they're having a little conversation. He was having a tough time getting through to him. And Greinke finally just told him, he said, look, I'm going to tell you 3 things. I'm not going to throw a 2-seam fastball. Bouncer at third base. And a second, 2 in the other. I'm not going to throw a changeup, and I don't like listening to pitching coaches. And after his first bullpen, he quit. He quit. Anyway, inning over. Rangers take the lead on the Chirinos homer.
Yeah, big bomb here from Robinson. Chirinos against Zach Greinke. Got himself an off-speed pitch and absolutely crushes his thing to left center field.
On the big board, traded to the Diamondbacks when we were in Arizona. Just happened a moment ago, and this was Jake's response. It's great to see the lefty back today.
Well, certainly a well-liked teammate, well-liked by the fans, and so much that he went through personally when he was here. Of course, on the field, the great things that he did, but then off the field as well. Pretty trying year for him last year. Bounced back very nicely this season. And he's missed.
He is. A lot of emotional connections to his time here. Scalzo leading off the 5th inning for Arizona, the 1-1 pitch. a little bit outside. Emily?
Yeah, Jake said before today's game that it would be a little awkward if he were called into action in either this game or tomorrow's game. And he said the one thing he would not do is look into the dugout because he was sure that someone would try to make him laugh and pull him out of his game. So that was his strategy, was just to not make eye contact with the dugout.
That's probably a good strategy. 3-1. Full count. Now, when we were in Arizona and he got traded the day of the deadline, the Diamondbacks orchestrated quite the exchange because he went from one clubhouse to the other, and they had Baxter, their mascot, drive him in the little car.
It's a long ride.
Yeah.
He said it was about, what, 450, 500 feet?
Yeah. It's a weird scene, no doubt. (3-2). And there's ball 4. So Descalso reaches. That'll bring up Nick Ahmed, RTXU Energy power player to watch. Ahmed, a slick fielding shortstop, really good. Previous 4 seasons he combined for 20 home runs. Well, this year 16. Second among National League shortstops, so having a huge year offensively.
Kind of a similar track in what we saw with Elvis Andrus, right? What was it, the previous 3 years for him? If I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4.
Yep, and Andrus started to see an increase and then just an absolute explosion as this one popped up to third base, one away.
I'm a big fan of it. We talk about the progress of a hitter. Get comfortable hitting at the big league level first. If you come out as a power guy, it's a little bit harder to make those adjustments as you go along. That's how you get your Jose Altuves and the way Elvis kind of did it. Now you're seeing it with Nick Ahmed. That's a nice surprise because with Nick Ahmed, they weren't sure offensively really what he could be. He really was kind of falling into that mold of really good glove guy, and he is a very good defensive shortstop. But offensively, you know, wasn't exactly what you would expect. You'd love to see a little bit more, and at least from a power standpoint this year, he is giving them a lot more. Still doesn't get on base very often. He's never had a season in which he's got an on base percentage above 300. 299, excuse me, 298 last year, 299 this year. The other year is significantly below 300 on the on base, but this year adding power. You can do something offensive. You're not going to get on base. If you can add some power to go with the great glove, D-backs will take it.
Bartolo working with a base runner for the first time since the first inning. And to your point on Andrus, by the way, in 2014 he had 2 home runs. Next year 7, next year 8, and then last year 20. There's a strike 0-2 to Mathis, so that's a progression. 3 previous years, 17 home runs, then 20. And that's, like you said, we pointed out a lot. You see that with good hitters. And the other thing about Elvis, of course, was that along the way he was always a pretty decent on base guy. Maybe even hit for a high average as he did in 2016. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mathis. 0 for 1. He flat out to right field in the second inning. Bartolo, a tough first inning, 29 pitches needed. Since then, though, it has been a relative breeze. We could use a ground ball right here, though, and just cap off this 5th inning with a double play. That'd be nice.
This 12 came fast. Right? I feel like he threw 12 pitches already this inning. Mentioned the double plays, 5 of those for Bartolo Colon this year. He's got a 42% ground ball rate, slightly below league average, which has been 44% this season.
Well, he's already walked 1.
That is incredible. There was never that game, right? I mean, he's just always filling up the strike zone. The one where you're not feeling right, can't put the ball where you want to put it, having a hard time keeping it in the strike zone. Everybody goes through that, with the exception of Bartolo Colon this year. And I think, you know, he's done this long enough. He knows how he feels. We have this conversation all the time. If you're going to make 30 starts over the course of the season, there's going to be about 10 of those, 8 to 10, where you feel like you could pitch with your eyes closed. You know, and you're gonna be great. You're gonna have all those middle starts, the middle of the road. Then you're gonna have those handful where you just don't feel good, regardless of all your prep. You just don't feel right. Now, that's the one where you walk 4 or 5, give up a couple of home runs, just an ugly start. Well, the days that he doesn't feel good, I'm assuming he has them. He's got to have them, right? He's 45 years old. You would think there's days where he doesn't feel right. He just continues to throw strikes. Now he'll give up hits, and his version of a bad day means missing over the plate and getting hit around a little bit. But it's really fascinating that he doesn't walk guys on a bad day. He'll let up some runs, he'll let up some hits, no doubt about it. But he hasn't had a day where he couldn't find the strike zone.
If he's ever had a bad day, I mean, you never know.
No, you never know about the outside of him.
You never know when he has a great day either. He's always the exact same guy. It's 3-2. And this one fouled away.
The thing that I think I love the most about what I've heard about Bartolo Colon, the ability to watch him this year, and you see what he does, and you have a real appreciation for the great two-seam fastball. Well, but it was what Jeff Bannister told us. He said every time he takes him out of a game, regardless of results, he says thank you. Yeah. That's incredible. Like, he is really appreciative that he still gets to play Major League Baseball. Because you look at him, it looks like he's just like, whatever, that's cool. You want me to pitch, want me to go home, whatever you want. But no, he actually has a great appreciation for the opportunity that he still has here in year 21. That's cool.
8th pitch of the at bat, and a bouncer, third base. Beltre will only have one play. Descalso is moving on the pitch, so they'll settle for the ground out. 2 away now. And it gives us a moment now to hear from the folks at Kia.
When you're America's Best Value, you don't need fancy uniforms. How'd you know it was clip-on?
So man at second base, and the lineup turns over now to David Peralta, who's 0 for 2. Talking about guys having great years, breakthrough seasons, etc. You might consider that for Peralta, already at career highs and home runs and RBIs. Look at the hits since the All-Star break, 31 of them for Peralta. And that is 5th most in baseball. Lofts this one out to left field. Calhoun was deep, and he won't get there in time. Descalso scores. RBI single for Peralta. And it's 4-3.
Tough break for Bartolo Colon. He made a good pitch here. You could tell by the sound this ball made off the bat of Peralta that he did not hit it hard at all, did not hit the barrel. A little breaking ball from Bartolo. We don't see too many of those. He tried to go with the backdoor breaking ball. You hear it here. And you watch this thing just kind of die on Willie Calhoun. No chance, especially with 2 outs, to throw Descalso out. But Peralta certainly would take it.
So now Goldschmidt bats in the inning, which you would prefer to avoid. 1 for 2.
Might not seem like a big deal, but that was actually a pretty amazing feat right there. Got Bartolo Colon threw an 86-mile-an-hour fastball, and Paul Goldschmidt swung at it and missed it. Bartolo doesn't get a lot of swings and misses, not part of his game. His fastball, he does not get very many swings and misses at all. And that two-seam fastball this year, he has just an 8% whiff rate. That means that every time an opposing hitter swings at his fastball, they only miss it 8% of the time. As it gets later in the game and the velocity comes down, you got a really good hitter like Paul Goldschmidt. To get him to swing at that and miss it, I think probably well below 8%.
High pop up, should in the inning. Odor calling for it, and it does. So Diamondbacks get a run back, and it's a one-run game as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Odor, Andrus, and Beltre coming up. Today. Bottom of the fifth inning. Rangers with a one-run lead. Odor, Andrus, Beltre, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Against Zach Greinke. Greinke needed 34 pitches to get through the fourth inning. We'll see what he has in the tank here in the fifth. Odor 0 for 2. He's flying out to center and to right. Well, those numbers against right-handed pitching, last 24 games for Rugi, hitting .400. So it might be a comfortable spot for him, although Greinke not a real comfortable right-hander to hit against, never has been. Two and one the count.
A couple of interesting at-bats, and I think coming into this one, this is the kind of matchup you like watching. You got a right-handed pitcher who relies on hitters lacking discipline, going out of the zone a little bit. That's been something that Odor has been working on and has had great success with his plate discipline lately. Don't mind them swinging at that one. It's on the corner. It's a fastball and a fastball count. A kind of cat and mouse game for a guy like Greinke if he can get Odor to chase. Be shocked if we see another fastball here. See if he goes break. Well, they're going to do it. How about it?
Well, a 2-2. Odor strikes out swinging. One away here in the fifth inning. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with John Radigan.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
All right, thank you, John.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's just a one game, isn't it? Is it just a makeup game?
I don't know.
Or are they starting a series? I think it's a makeup game, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of odd. Obviously, the Subway Series in New York. It's one of the few interleague series that people, at least in that part of the country, get pretty excited about. And what a great matchup. Jacob deGrom, Luis Severino. On paper, it looked really good. Yeah, just that one game because the Rays are coming in next. It's kind of a weird one.
A high fly ball down that right field line, and Souza will hear that wall getting closer. So 0-2 the count.
And always for outfielders, especially on the road, gets a little bit tricky. And for Souza, I mean, he's a guy that's played here before as a former American leaguer, but hasn't been here this year. That one was really close. You know, you're sitting there, you're trying to track the ball, you're trying to brace yourself. You're also trying to slow down at the same time as you get closer and closer to that padded wall. Those are difficult.
Now the 0-2. That one way up in the zone, and Andrus pops it up into short left. Peralta is there. Well, looking ahead to this weekend, Angels and Rangers, 7:05 game, and that'll be on Saturday. First 15,000 fans to the ballpark take home the first ever Nomar Mazara bobblehead, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Walmart. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS.
You did a nice job with that woodwork. How'd you burn the logos in there? That was pretty good. I thought you did some nice work on that.
Yeah. I'd love to do a little woodwork in the wood burning kit. It's great.
Yeah.
Takes a while, to be honest with you. It took me 3 tries. So
that's not bad.
Second one was pretty good, but I didn't think it was TV worthy. As a pitch to Beltre. And there for a strike. And you know me, ever the perfectionist.
Yeah. Details matter.
Took a third shot at it. This one hooked foul by Tony Beasley. Wow. Now our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Eddie Butler has been loosening up out there, which would indicate that Bartolo may be done after 5 innings. There's a big sexy. High fives.
Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Ooh, big swing and a miss. Beltre. Chase strike 3. And so Greinke bounces back with an 11-pitch 5th inning. We go to the 6th in a 1-run game.
Arlington here in the top of the 6th. We talk about Nomar Mazara bobblehead day on Saturday. Hopefully he will be back in action here in Arlington by then. His rehab assignment got pushed back just a little bit because of the weather. He pitched, or rather played in a 5 innings worth of a game and then 7 innings. Jeff Bannister wants him to get back-to-back 9-inning outings before bringing him back up to the big leagues. Tonight is an off night in Frisco, so he will get that rehab assignment going back again tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. How about the rain becoming a factor?
Yeah.
All of a sudden at this part of the year. We haven't had much of it to speak of this season. But this is time for our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Who's in? Eddie Butler. We already know who's out. Bartolo Colon heading into the clubhouse, and Eddie Butler's first offering a little bit in.
We'll take a look at what Eddie Butler has done so far this season between the Cubs and the Rangers. Game number 15 for him. The repertoire is a fastball, slider, changeup, curveball mix. 27 innings on the season, 14 strikeouts. Actually been really good against lefties this year. Kind of some backward splits as he gets the line out.
I like those. Soft line out to short, 1 away.
Just to kind of finish up on those splits for Eddie Butler this year, he has held left-handed hitters to just a 184 batting average. Righties at 288.
So Butler, first man up out of the bullpen after 5 innings from Bartolo Colon, and he pins one around on the outside corner to Eduardo Escobar. Escobar struck out looking his last time up. Shakes that one foul. 0-2.
He got fooled really badly by a 2-seam fastball from Bartolo Colon. Not something you really say too often, getting fooled by a fastball, but he threw him pretty incredible 2-seamer that came back and caught a lot of the plate and just absolutely locked Escobar up. That was one of 3 strikeouts that Bartolo Colon had this evening. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs and just 1 walk, so the streak continues. Now 22 starts, 2 walks or less.
Little bounce around in front of the plate. Nice play by Chirinos, and he gets Escobar 2 away.
Yeah, Robinson Chirinos really hopping out from behind the plate. These are tough plays. Watch it here. This one's going to be hit off the end of the bat. Escobar trying to stay alive. Mask comes off. Hit it with the bare hand. Turn and make a really nice throw. You get a good look at it here. Chirinos just took charge of that play. It's really important as a catcher to have good communication. You're in charge in that spot. It's much easier for you going out than having your pitcher come in. You'd rather have your catcher throw it. But you got to make sure your pitcher stays out of the way. Robbie did that.
So now Souza, who is 1 for 2, doubled in a run in the first inning, flied out in the 4th. That one finds a corner, 1-1. So the Rangers buy a run so far. Spotted Arizona to a 2-0 lead. Offense, a little surge there against Zach Greinke, and we'll see how far the Diamondbacks want to push Greinke. There's a lot of the offense right there. And there, some home runs today. Guzman and Chirinos. A swing and a miss, 2-2.
Good fastball on a 2-1 count. Really good downward action on that pitch from Eddie Butler. Comes from that kind of high arm angle.
Butler, a guy who can give the Rangers some length out of the bullpen too. He may be in for a handful of innings here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because you're right, and he had a game earlier this year where he threw 3 2/3 for the Rangers out of the bullpen. He actually did the same thing for the Chicago Cubs. He also had some starts in there, but it's a 1-run lead, so you don't feel like this is an outing that would require a long one, but we'll see.
Fly ball out to right center, and DeShields will take care of it. It's a 1-2-3 sixth inning for Eddie Butler. And so we continue with the Rangers leading by 1. Rusty Greer just a moment ago revealing the number of games remaining here at Globe Life Park. 100 after tonight.
Yeah, the countdown begins.
Yep.
Texas Live is open.
Oh man,
I'm excited to go check it out tomorrow. Grab a meal there, my first, and then Wednesday the blue carpet event that we'll have as well. It is amazing. I was absolutely floored when we got home last night and drove by Texas Live after getting back from New York. You and I took that tour, like, no way this is going to be ready. And it looks awesome. It is, when this whole thing is done, it's going to be incredible. It is going to be absolutely incredible, not just for Ranger games. It's open all year round. But you know, Cowboy games, any events at AT&T to go hang out at Texas Live beforehand or after.
Yeah, when the new ballpark is done and the whole thing ties together, it is really just going to be a hoot. I mean, it's already awesome over there at Texas Live. I'm surprised you didn't get over there today for me.
Yeah, you know, I had a lot going on today. Double duty and had to sneak in a nap. Had a lot going on.
Greinke strikes out Joey Gallo to start the 6th inning. 1 away. Brings up Robinson Chirinos. Right now, the real big swing in this game in the 4th inning.
Yeah, he got a hold of an off-speed pitch and crushes this ball. He knew it. Deep to left center field. Into that Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen.
And that fastball finds the inside corner to Chirinos. Robbie 1 for 2.
So pretty fascinating. I mentioned that we're seeing Zach Greinke use the fastball more lately and actually tried to go inside back-to-back. Look at this, 434 opponent's batting average on inside fastballs this season. That is the highest in Major League Baseball, but he just threw 2 in a row to Robinson Chirinos. And I just wonder, kind of noticed all those curveballs early on. He has been using the fastball a lot more, kind of a backward strategy for Zach Greinke. He's certainly a smart guy. He's been around. He's done this before. As that fastball is averaging around 90 these days, and its heyday 94, 95 would be the number that Zach Greinke would see pretty regularly. So it's not surprising to see the high batting average number because it's relatively straight. You talked about that 2-seam fastball conversation that he had years ago.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat, man. He's a little bit like a Trevor Bauer of sorts, you know, guys who are committed to the craft in a way where they feel like, I know what's best for me. Chirinos pulls that one foul. We're talking about the story years ago after he had struggled in year 2 with the Royals, and Bob McClure, his new pitching coach, took him golfing, and they had that conversation. And one of the 3 things that he told McClure, the last one, I don't like talking to pitching coaches. McClure was cool. He's like, hey man, listen, me too. I had trouble with pitching coaches. I get it. Don't worry about it. And you know, I'll respect you, but you might want to think about your repertoire. So then that's when I tell you they had their first bullpen. He threw nothing but fastballs, walked away, and McClure thought, well, that's it. Later that day, Royals manager Buddy Bell called McClure and said, hey, nice job with Zach today. He just quit. Our number one starter's done. He quit. And he did. He went home to Florida and he would see a psychiatrist for some time and stepped away from baseball. missed a couple of months, came back, went through extended spring, worked his way back up again. But, you know, addressed some of the things that were really bothering him. He really had like what they felt like were some anxiety problems, especially when it came to the media. And it just didn't take well to certain people telling him what to do. But he's mellowed a little bit since then. And he certainly had a lot of success.
You can't argue with that. He's been good over the course of his career. Dodger fans were really disappointed that he didn't come back. They made a pretty aggressive play to bring him back.
Chirinos making him work here in this 6th inning. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. And it is strike 3 called. Chirinos thought he had ball 4.
Take a look at this pitch and see if Robbie's got a good argument. He's still talking about it, and this was a fastball. It's really close, probably missed in off the plate. Zach Greinke gets the call.
Well, 2 away. Chirinos won't be happy about that, but he'll have plenty of time to discuss it with Brian Knight.
Hey, let's get to our Built for Baseball, which is brought to you by T-Mobile. And Ronald Guzman, he's been built for baseball lately, but especially tonight, the big home run over the Ranger bullpen. Has been locked in, really quality at bats, not just the power that we've seen, but also the takes, the walks have all been there.
Little roller to second base, completes a quiet Rangers half of the 6th inning. And so we go to the 7th. Greinke's hanging in there. It's a 4-3 game. And our Ford probables tomorrow will wrap up this series just like that. We just got started today. Patrick Corbin, well, he's been a good one for the Diamondbacks. 9-4 this year with better than 11 strikeouts per 9. Giovanni Gallardo, though, has been outstanding in his last 4 starts. And the Rangers have been scoring a lot of runs for him. See if they can do that again tomorrow against Corbin. Well, Ketel Marte leading things off for the Diamondbacks. You look at the in-game box score, and Marte in the bottom of the order, hitless from the 6th spot on. 1-1 the count.
Eddie Butler back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Mentioned he has been a guy that has gone multiple innings, and he may be a guy that gets a look in the rotation before the year is over. So that's certainly part of what we might see with him in this relief role getting stretched out.
Routine play for Andrews, hit short, 1 away. So we have a moment now. Once again, hear from the folks at Southwest Kia.
Purchase a brand new Kia Sorento for less than $20,000. Monthly payments $250 a month. Find your Kia Sorento at Southwest Kia.
1 away, and Daniel Descalso comes to the plate. He walked and scored a run in the 5th. Butler is retired 4 in a row. So he may give the Rangers a couple of innings in a 1-run game. Scalzo bounces this one right side. Easy play for Odor, 2 away.
It's a good changeup from Eddie Butler, and the reason that he has had so much success this season against lefties, I mentioned, came in tonight just a 184 batting average against lefties. Watch the movement on this pitch. Good separation on the velocity for the late movement, downward action. It's a good way to get lefties to swing over the top and get those kind of ground balls.
So 2 away, and it brings up Nick Ahmed. Ahmed retired on a comebacker in the 2nd, popped up in the 5th. The Diamondbacks, as we've mentioned, they're in a tight battle in the National League West. And in fact, since the Rangers left town when they played Arizona, just 2 games there at the end of July. Diamondbacks since that time have played 500 ball. I want to say 5-5. Rangers since that time have gone 6-5. Played slightly better, but Arizona has maintained the 1-game lead in the division. Take a look at the National League West. There they are. Prior to any action today, so the Dodgers are getting back both in wins and in the loss column. And then the Rockies 1.5 back.
Do you think if they knew they were going to have to hyphenate their nickname a lot, that they still would have named their team the Diamondbacks? I even run into a problem on my scorecard. I go the apostrophe. I like that better than the D-backs.
Apostrophe?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Me. Looks great on my scorecard. Looks better than the dash.
Oh, I like the dash. Bouncer third. Beltre scoops, throws, and it's a 1-2-3 for Butler. 10 pitches needed. Butler offers 2 scoreless. Time to stand and stretch. It's a 4-3 game. Leading by a run, and Rangers destination trips offer you the chance to hit the road with your Texas Rangers. And you can take a trip to San Francisco August 24th to the 26th. Catch the Rangers and the Giants at beautiful AT&T Park. The package includes first-class hotel accommodations, a meet and greet with Pudge, a VIP ballpark tour, and a whole lot more. Book your trip at TexasRangers.com/destinations. All right, Greinke out there again here in the 7th inning. Take a look at the Rangers in-game box score. And the hits spread around a little bit. The power down there at the bottom half of the order. Chirinos and Guzman with the long balls tonight. 1-1 the count on Calhoun.
See pitch number 100 for Greinke so far this evening. Love to see the Rangers find a way to get him out of this game. He's a guy that's gone over 100 quite a few times this year. 10 times total. The max has been 111 this season for Zach Greinke.
Oh, this one shot right through the vacated left side of the infield. Calhoun with a leadoff single in the 7th.
Well, he didn't hit it very hard, but he hit it exactly where he had to. It's a nice job by Willie Calhoun. Good look at the changeup grip. That ball fading away from him, but watch him keep the head down. Doing everything he can, and he knows what's going on with the shift, so it gives you a little bit more confidence to take that type of swing. In that spot, Willie Calhoun is lifted for a pinch runner.
Carlos Tocci taking over at first base. So he's a big base runner. A 1-run game, and Delano DeShields at the plate, and they will throw over on Tocci. Delano activated before yesterday's game in New York, coming off that concussion protocol list. Tocci, by the way, 0 for 3 in stolen base attempts. 1-1 the count on DeShields.
You love the bunt attempt here, right? From Delano DeShields, the idea that you try to bunt for a hit. Worst case scenario, it turns into a sacrifice bunt, even though there's 1 out. I like the idea of kind of being aggressive right here.
Chafin working out of the bullpen for Arizona.
Sorry, there's no outs. So I started talking myself into saying, yeah, no outs, go for the bunt. I looked up and saw the 1 out, and I said, wait a minute, I have to talk myself out of this one. No, I was right. It was the rare case.
Yep.
That I was actually right. So I continue to like the bunt here with no outs.
Okay. Staying with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a good bunt. Bunt to a Gold Glover. Oh, nobody home at first, and Marte had to hustle over there. Just got there in time. Sacrifice was 1-4, and Calhoun, or rather Tocci, now at second base.
Yeah, what happened here was Greinke got to the ball so quickly that he had to give his second baseman a little bit of time to get there. He turned here and realized, started to slow his arm down a little bit, but it all worked out. But that sacrifice bunt will end the night is Zach Greinke.
Well, the man in scoring position. Greinke is done. Andrew Chafin coming in for the Diamondbacks.
Night in Chicago. Walk-off grand slam. Nationals were winning 3-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Walk-off grand salami. Take a look at some numbers here for the lefty Andrew Chafin. Game number 57. It's been a really good year. You see the good ERA, the strikeouts per innings, the low walk rate, good opponents, batting average, splits right down the middle. 203 against lefties and 203 against righties. He's taken on 28 inherited runners this year. 7 of them have scored, 25%.
Well, with Tochi in scoring position, falls behind 2, 1-0. Greinke went 6 1/3 today. Chafin at all from here, and the 1-0.
Hey, so check this out. Jerry Nairn, the bench coach, former Ranger manager, does everything in this awesome choreography, but then he takes it to a whole nother level right here. How about that? Doing it in Korean. I will assume that's Korean calligraphy.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to, don't you?
Yeah, I think you have to do it at that point, but how neat is that, man? Pretty cool. It's a nice handwriting. What'd you think of my circle there?
I thought that was pretty good. I thought,
like, you and I would, or details, like I made that perfect circle.
Yeah.
First try.
Well, I thought it was going to be a little magnifying glass when you rolled
yeah.
over there. I thought maybe you're going to. I thought maybe you had another trick up your sleeve, but it's still very.
Thank you.
Very good. Very nice circle.
Do you wish you could do calligraphy?
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And also, we didn't see it on there, but Hirano, the Japanese pitcher that they have, he also will do that for Japanese players and go into the. I don't know if it's the hiragana or a katakana. I'm not sure which.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Me either.
Which Japanese he's using there, or if it's in the traditional Japanese symbols.
For that matter, I don't even know if you just making up words.
Might have. No, that's actually true. In his case, probably not, since he's native to Japan. Usually the katakana and hiragana is used for foreign words.
Oh.
If you go on a menu view, you see like they're spread out. If you're reading something Japanese and you see the traditional symbols, the real intricate ones, and then you see kind of the ones that are more spread out and not as detailed, that is katakana or hiragana. Whether it's a menu or a foreigner's name, that's usually when they use those forms.
Ooh. Tight on Chu, and he will take the walk. So 2 men on for Rougned Odor. Well, MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Rangers home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, everything you could possibly imagine. Download MLB At Bat today. It is your Ichiban app.
Nice. What does Ichiban mean? You remember?
The best.
I told you. That's right. Very nice. Hey, do you think, I think about this sometimes. You ever think about stuff like this, that whoever does the closed captioning for our games hates us.
Folks.
Like these guys. That's short straw. When you got to do the Ranger game and you and I are doing it, and you're like, are you kidding me? I'm doing the Ranger game again. What are these knuckleheads talking about?
I can see that meeting of all the guys, you know, reporting for work. I'll take Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
Well, that's.
I'll take the Andy Griffith Show. Oh, no. Oh, this is the Rangers game. Tough gig.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Roogie has been held hitless so far. Struck out his last time up, but he's getting a look at Chafin now. So glad to get rid of Zach Greinke, and maybe a change of scenery will help him. And he takes a strike right on the outside corner. Pretty good pitch.
You're not going to throw a fastball in the corner any better than this one that Andrew Chafin just threw to Rougned Odor. We saw Rugi swing and miss at a couple of fastballs from Zach Greinke in that last at bat. It's a good job by him laying off that one. First pitch, you generally don't want to go after a good pitcher's pitch like that one.
0-2. Chafin has not allowed a home run in the last 63 games in which he has pitched. That's a pretty good little stretch. And he's also been really tough on lefties lately. Lefties with just 6 hits since June 2nd against him. 6 hits and 37 at bats. Now 1 out here. And Odor asked for time. Bottom of the 7th. Boy, Chafin, long look in. He and Mathis, not sure if it's just the elaborate nature of the signs or what, but
I got to believe that it's fastball or slider here. He's fastball, slider, changeup. Unlikely that he would go to the changeup left on left. I think it's a matter of fastball or slider, and then location if it is going to be the fastball. And go in off the plate, up, out of the zone. You don't want to throw a strike here, though, to Odor.
Down in the dirt. 1-2 the count.
You love in these situations left on left, or really any situation for that matter, but when you get into an 0-2 count as a pitcher, your catcher would love to see you throw that fastball in off the plate, kind of get a hitter a little bit uncomfortable, and it's kind of traditional. You go back with the slider. It's a pretty good combination that's been very effective over the years, but you have to be comfortable throwing that pitch in. And you got first and second here with 1 out, and if you're not convicted as a pitcher and feeling good about it, then you shouldn't be throwing that pitch, and that could have been part of that situation right there, because if you don't get it in there with conviction, you're asking for trouble.
2-2. You keep nibbling and you work yourself into a little bit of a corner too. See, that's the downside of the opposite strategy. Odor's been very patient. Good at waiting for that mistake pitch. Here's a 2-2. And he takes ball 3. So once down in the count, 0-2. And Odor's worked his way back full. Already a career high in walks this year for Rougned Odor, 33 of them. He'll take another.
That'd be a good time for one, without a doubt. It's been some great work that has been done by Rougned Odor here. We've seen it now over the last, I guess, month and a half to 2 months. He wants to drive these runs in the worst way. Of course he does, but the patience has really come around.
Now the payoff. And that one fouled away.
Tough pitch right there. That's 94 miles an hour on the corner. We showed you that first pitch of the at-bat, 93 on the corner. Well, Chafin's able to come back and go 94 right on the corner. Of course, you want to be careful here. You don't want to load the bases. So if you're going to shoot corner, you got to make sure you get it there, and he did. That's a great pitch, and a nice job by Ruby to spoil it.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming. Tochi, the pinch runner, off second. Chu off first, but it's Tochi who draws the attention of Chafin. When these two teams got together in Arizona, the Rangers won the opener, and then Arizona took the second game. And they'll play just the 2 games here. Rangers with the 1-run lead here in game 1. Now the 3-2. And that one rolled up the first baseline. And Goldschmidt handles it for the second out of the inning. The runners both advance, but they're now 2 away.
Well, good at bat here by Rougned Odor, at least as far as getting deep into the at bat. And I think he was hoping here, as you see Chafin throwing that slider down and away, good location, that maybe this ball would hit the bag or go foul. Would have been nice. That would have been fantastic, though. Hit the bag, and Paul Goldschmidt, watch him probably struggle with that a little bit, but Chafin does the job.
Chafin is done. Ziegler coming on for Arizona in a 1-run game. Your friends at Jack Daniels remind you to drink responsibly. Well, a 1-run game, but the Rangers threatening for a little more here. Second and third with 2 outs, and Elvis Andrus heading to the plate. Brad Ziegler, the new hurler for Arizona.
And you're going to see these numbers here, and you're going to say, oh, it looks like he's been struggling a little bit. Game number 60, ERA is up over 4. He started the season with the Miami Marlins. His last 32 games, he had a 1.78 ERA. He had a real slow start to his year. That happens sometimes with relievers. He has been pretty dominant, though, since then. And sinker, slider, changeup from that low arm angle for Brad Ziegler.
Gets that first one in for a strike. His 59th appearance of the year. So Ziegler, one of those rubber armors.
That is a technical term.
I believe it is. Yeah. 0-2 the count.
There it is. That arm angle so difficult for right-handed hitters, as you see a couple of sliders here so far to Elvis Andrus.
It's only a 2-strike pitch. And this one popped up over second, but out there to make the play. Marte in the inning is done. The Rangers lead 2 in scoring position. We go to the 8th. Still a 1-run game.
Time for our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. We're going to give a little reliever love to Eddie Butler, who was fantastic in his 2 innings of work. He had 4 ground ball outs and really inducing a lot of weak contact. You're going to see these Diamondback hitters just off balance, hitting the top half of the ball. Really nice job by Eddie Butler, and he did it in a tight spot. He came in a 1-run game, and he left it exactly there. So he gets our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. That's going to bring us to our next reliever for the Rangers, and it's going to be the right-hander Corey Guerin, who has come in. There are the numbers for Guerin. Game number 50 for him. 40 strikeouts in his 44 to third innings. You'll see the sinker. That's the 2-seam fastball, slider, and the changeup from the Rangers right-hander. Of course, he started the season with the San Francisco Giants.
All right, Carlos Tocci, after pinch running, stays in the game in left field for the Rangers. And not the only substitutions. John Jay now announces the pinch hitter here for Mathis. So all kinds of new faces. 8th inning and a 1-run game. Guerin set to go. And gets that first one in there for a strike. Good numbers for Jay. Now Jay started both games we played in Arizona in left field. At the time, they were kind of without the services of David Peralta, not on the disabled list, but just needed a couple of days with a banged up shoulder. Jay takes inside, 1-1. He's a pretty steady guy and a good hitter, good fielder to be able to pull off your bench on a moment's notice.
This was a really good ad for the Diamondbacks. I like the acquisition of John Jay. Talk about him a lot as a guy that, to me, has been highly underrated over the course of his career. Give you some good defense. He gives you good at-bats. He's had a really good batting average last few years.
Fly ball out to center field, and he is the first out here in the 8th inning. Well, country music artist Casey Donahue will perform a post-game concert this Saturday presented by Budweiser. Watch the Angels take on your Rangers, a 7:05 game, and then enjoy the concert afterward. Just go to TexasRangers.com/concerts for game tickets and information on how you can see Casey Donahue from the field. All right, 1 out. And now here is David Peralta. And Peralta was the last Diamondback to reach base on the last hit. That was in the 5th inning. Guy hitting over 300 coming into the game with 21 homers and 60 RBIs. Since that series against the Rangers that he took off, he came back to the starting lineup the next day for the Diamondbacks. Since that time, a 10-game stretch, he's hit .455 with three doubles, a triple, and 5 homers. So he needed those 2 days. His shoulder was fine afterward, and since then it's just been smoking hot. So they want this one up. The 0-2 pitch. He shanks it over to the left side out of play.
So that's interesting too. You look at Corey Guerin. We talk about his stuff, and we mentioned to you that he throws that 2-seam fastball, and that is what he uses as his heater. He's got the slider, he's got the changeup. But when you have that little bit of a lower arm angle like he has, that we'd call probably a lower 3/4, and everything is 2-seam and moving, it's a little bit more difficult to elevate your fastball. Much like Alex Claudio, he throws from a much lower arm angle, but to elevate and get it to stay up there is kind of a challenge actually for guys. Even though guys that throw from the lower arm angle, we talk about how much that has happened in the game. There's Alex Claudio on the right. Now the man on the left, Jose Leclerc, he's got no problem throwing his 97 at the top of the zone. It's a traditional arm angle with good life and good velocity. But we see pitchers doing it in general, going up there more. But that's where Corey Guerin gets his outs, down low.
Big strikeout of Peralta. 2 away here in the 8th inning.
Take a look at this off-speed pitch from Guerin. After he elevated the fastball, he goes with the slider down at 86 miles per hour. See that ball spinning and then disappearing.
So 2 away for Paul Goldschmidt. Bases empty. That's an ideal way to face him. Goldschmidt had the single and scored a run back in the 1st inning. Extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Despite a really slow start this year for him, he is among the National League leaders in just about all the offensive categories, whether that be walks, home runs, on base slugging. Really one of the truly great all-around players in the game, certainly in the National League, and he hits this ball hard up the middle. That's a base hit. Goldschmidt with 2 hits in tonight's game.
Center fielder A.J. Pollock.
Look, it's A.J. Pollock to the plate.
So remember last time we saw Paul Goldschmidt, that base hit that he had in the 1st, he ended up stealing second base, and so the Rangers have to be careful here. So 1-run ball game. If he feels like he can take it, he certainly will try.
Guerin does his best to freeze base runners with that long hold. And keeps Goldschmidt closer to the bag. Goldschmidt in past years has been an exceptional base runner. Last year 18 steals, but the year before in 2016 he stole 32 bases. 21 the year before that. Hasn't been a big year on the bases for him this year. This one lined out to left center. That's a base hit. Goldschmidt turns and heads for 3rd. Well, the Diamondbacks have him on the corners.
These two guys are a really good combination in the middle of the order. Paul Goldschmidt, A.J. Pollock, a couple of really tough righties. This is not a bad pitch. Slider down and away from Corey Guerin. Pollock not waiting around, just the first one that he likes. And gets himself a hard line drive to center field. But there are 2 outs right now, and Escobar is a tough hitter as well. Doug Bocale will come out and talk to his right-hander about how they want to attack Escobar in this spot.
Yeah, this is why I think Escobar is a really intriguing ad for the Diamondbacks. You're right, Goldschmidt and Pollock, they're tough. Now you got Dr. Doubles here. Escobar 42 doubles this year, most in Major League Baseball. And he's got a couple of good ones out there on the bases. A.J. Pollock runs well. Looking at him, 10 steals this year and 12 attempts. So a double, it's not that it would just score Paul Goldschmidt. It would likely, especially with 2 outs, score Pollock as well. Now Escobar today 0 for 3. We've got him just about every way. A fly out to left, a strikeout looking on the little tapper out in front of the plate. And he'll take outside ball 1.
And Escobar's only faced Corey Guerin once, 0 for 1 in his career. This guy's been good. I mentioned it earlier, really good with runners in scoring position this year. 391 coming into this game. It's been a little bit better against righties than lefties. A switch hitter hitting 289 against righties as a lefty, 262 on the other side. So he gave the Dr. Doubles nickname. That's a cool nickname. I bet you it's cooler in Spanish. How do you say doctor in Spanish? I took German in high school.
I don't know. I took Spanish, and I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you how to say either one of those in Spanish.
Well, double, right?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Let's put it this way: if you were to tell me that's how you say it, I'd say, "Oh, yeah, okay."
Or just Senor sure. Double.
Could go Senor. I don't know what doctor is though. There's got to be a good word there. El Medico?
I will also take your word for it.
Or could be Doctor. You never know.
Yeah, obviously we don't know at all.
2-1. Little tapper. Oh, what a play by Chirinos to grab that with a bare hand and make the out at first. That was headed foul, but Chirinos saved it, got the out, and gets the Rangers out of the 8th inning.
Second time in a row that Escobar is retired on a 2-3 putout, and another really nice play. And you're right, the way that ball was spinning, most likely going foul, and Chirinos didn't allow it.
Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. 1-run game, bottom of the 8th inning. You suppose Emily could be any help at all in this Dr. Doubles thing?
I mean, it was my minor in college, Spanish. It is el médico. Estoy tratando hablar en español con
back
los
it up a little
jugadores, pero mi español no es muy bueno.
We just want Dr. Doubles.
Well, you can't talk to me like that. This one hit sharply up the middle by Adrian Beltre. A great start to the 8th inning. Beltre with his first hit of the night.
He smoked this ball right back up the middle, did Adrian Beltre, against Archie Bradley, by the way, who is the new reliever in for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll show you those season numbers for the new right-hander. Game number 57. He's been very good for them coming out of that bullpen. Good ERA. Right around 1 strikeout per inning. No walk rate. Good opponent's batting average. You'll see the fastball, the curveball, and the cutter.
Fouled out a play by Gallo for strike 1. John Ryan Murphy, the new catcher as well. An entirely new battery.
The Diamondbacks have a pretty unique situation with their 3 catchers. They use them all. They've all played in at least 40 games.
One and one. Gallo 0 for 2 with the walk. And this ball hit high in the air, but not going to carry. Coming in from right field, Souza. He'll make the catch. One away.
Well, that'll bring us to our Coors Light refreshing finish with Robinson Chirinos coming up. Take a look first at this base hit by Elvis Andrus up the middle. That was to lead things off, and then we saw Robbie coming up big with the home run. 3-run shot for Chirinos. Joey Gallo also scored on that home run. He walked prior to that. Good to see Robbie swinging a good stick, and another opportunity here with a runner at first and just one out.
We'll see what Bradley tries to do with him, and he runs it a little bit in for a ball. Well, baseball season is a journey for everybody. We learn a lot about ourselves over the course of the season. And I find that I'm personally a little bit fascinated with facial hair. This one skips away. Beltre to second base. He'll take a turn and hold on the wild pitch. That one very wild.
Let's take a look at this pitch from Bradley that really got away from him. And that's a tough one to pick. Now, Murphy just came in the game, and he didn't put much of an effort. Watch this. He's trying to backhand that ball. That's one where you want to see your catcher drop to his knees, square that pitch up, and do everything he possibly can to try to keep it in front of him. And instead, he tried to pick it cleanly, allowed Adrian Beltre to get in a scoring position. But Robinson Chirinos has been very good. 279 this year in these spots.
2-1 the count. So now a base hit could score a very important run here. Now, so that beard right there, at first blush, you know what I thought of? I thought of that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation thing, Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah. But that was really Kevin Youkilis kind of dominated that one, because he's a little more red.
Yeah.
When he had his beard going, I thought he was a little more Yukon. But you're right, it's close.
Oh, this ball hit out to left center. Could drop in. It does. Beltre scores on the single by Chirinos. It's a 4 RBI night for Robbie. And he's given the Rangers a critical insurance run in the 8th.
Well, not only was that a big hit, but this was an incredible read by Adrian Beltre. I'm watching this thing off the bat, and we have a good view. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to get down. Watch Adrian. He knew right away. He saw it, and this is what the years of experience do to you. And it's a great read. Now watch him here a little bit. He saw him kind of pull up a little bit. We know he's had some hamstring issues. Hopefully nothing there. Maybe it was just because he knew he was going to score easily.
That's what you hope. I don't love the look of that one, but hopefully nothing to it.
But that was an unbelievable read. That's not a no-brainer. A lot of guys that would wait that out a little bit, you know, trying to turn your back to the infield, watch that ball get down. But not Adrian. How big was that wild pitch and kind of the lack of at least trying to block it from John Ryan Murphy?
Yeah, we saw early tonight in the first inning the stolen base by Goldschmidt turned up big, and that wild pitch now for the Rangers.
And let's take a look at some of our StatCast AI, which is powered by AWS. And what it's going to show us here is a little bit of a spray chart. Now, this is the last 100 batted balls that are 200 feet or less from Ronald Guzman. You see what he has done here. Everything has been, for the most part, up the middle and to the right. Not very often that he has gone to the left side, and you see where these fielders are positioned. They have that same information as well. They subscribe to StatCast.
3-1 to count.
It's a big run for the Rangers. Get yourself a little bit of breathing room as you head to the 9th inning eventually. Try to tack on at least one more. Ooh.
Whoa.
That's the second one for Ronald Guzman tonight. And we mentioned not only has he been hitting the long ball, which has been great, but he had a couple of walks the other game. 2 nights ago, or I should say 2 days ago, was a dig, and this ball's below the zone. That is a ball. What is he, 6'5"?
Yeah.
6'7"?
Yeah, 6'5".
He knows it. It's some frustration. Ronald Guzman has really been a professional since he's been here. His first taste of the big leagues, but that is frustrating.
Fouled away. Jose Leclerc. Looks like he might be all set out there in the bullpen. Rangers up by 2. You're the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming for Arizona in the ninth. Oh, Beltre, you see, being scratched out of the lineup, and so that might be an indication of what happened on that run a moment ago. Line drive out to left field, 2 away.
Well, let's get to our Ford game summary here this evening and talk about these starters. We talked about them in the open. A couple of old timers. Zach Greinke just 34 years old. Of course, Bartolo Colon at 45 years old. But these guys go head to head, and Zach Greinke goes 6 1/3. You see Bartolo there with 5 innings pitched tonight. Not surprising to see more strikeouts from Greinke at this point in his career. Of course, Bartolo Colon is a contact pitcher, but more importantly for Bartolo, right now in line for the win if the Rangers can hold on.
So Tocci's first at bat of the night came in as a pinch runner in the 7th inning, then stayed in defensively. Chirinos at first, 2 away.
And by the way, we were showing that scorecard there and showing Don Wakamatsu crossing off Adrian Beltre's name. He too, calligraphy.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't want to see us giving the opposing team all the love. Now I'm pretty sure, I'll double check, but I believe that, well, what does he know? He's got Chew in English there.
Yeah, but what amazes me is that then in game, when he's making changes in the lineup card, he does it in calligraphy.
And that's amazing, and I'm with you. And just like you, he is also a perfectionist. He said, not uncommon, 2 or 3 lineups until he gets it right. Rarely is it the first draft that actually makes it, which is pretty impressive. You know, calligraphy is something you can teach yourself too, and I believe Don Wakamatsu was self-taught. I won't say it's easy, but it's not something you have to go to school for. Get on the old interwebs while you're sitting in the hotel.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
To your whole scorecard.
2 and 2.
I'm not either.
Yeah, sometimes the fans make nifty plays too. How about this one? Just a second. Hey, we got it.
Up. Nice. Watch that bar.
Yeah, babe.
Good job. Friend just laughing at him. I mean, how about, you know, that was great. Laughing at him. Hey, look at you. That was great.
Full count on Tocci. Well, Jake Diekman loosening up out there just in case. Former Ranger. All things considered, he'd probably rather not face his old team. 3-2 pitch. That ball just foul. Wow.
Take a look at this one. This was really close. Really, it's amazing to watch umpires how they make these calls. You see it right there, go foul. Maybe not as close as I thought.
Yeah.
I think I could have made that call. Well, you figure Diekman is up for Chew, who's still 2 hitters away. But we talked about this leading up to the deadline. He was so dominant away from this ballpark. He really struggled here this year.
Payoff pitch. Oh, Tocci.
And he talked about it, right? He wasn't, you know, he said, something about I'm not feeling right at Globe Life this year for some reason. I think his ERA was up over 7. On the road, it was like a .49.
Right, right. Yeah, the difference was stunning. Of course, we'd always been warming up in the other bullpen. Maybe warming up on that side of the field would make a difference. We'll see. Maybe. 3-2. Out to center field, and Pollock right there. Inning is done. Rangers, though, add a very big insurance run now. Ninth inning coming. Last chance for the Diamondbacks. Souza, Marte, Descalso, and Jose Leclerc coming on.
Ninth inning, Rangers in front 5-3 as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park. John Radigan, Mike Bassick, Tom Grieve. Rangers Live presented by Fios by Frontier. Coming next, Tom, what do you got for us?
I'm counting on a clean ninth inning, and I'm going to talk about Bartolo Colon's 247th career victory.
Well, I'm going to brag about Chirinos and Tom calling it in the pregame for a big one from him.
Boy, that's calling your shot, isn't it? We may have to replay some of that. Yeah, Tom with a big, bold prediction, and let's see if the Rangers can hold on to this 2-run lead. Guys, back to you.
Well, Tom's been around the game a little bit. He knows what's going to happen before it ever happens.
He's seen a few things. He knows the trends, that's for sure.
Now here's Jose Leclerc now in the ninth inning. Rangers up by 2.
It's been a great year for Jose. This will be game number 44. Sparkling ERA, the 41 2/3 innings with 58 strikeouts over that time. That's incredible, as is the opponent's batting average for him this year. Really has dominated across the board. And he is a guy where splits don't matter. 163 against lefties, 138 against right-handers.
Well, Beltre is out of the game, and Profar takes over at third base. So we will no doubt get an update on that later on, either this inning or in the postgame show. 0-2 the count on Souza. Of course, with the Diamondbacks coming into play today, a game ahead of the Dodgers. Then the next issue is, well, what are the Dodgers doing? They're at home tonight against the Giants. Kershaw on the mound for LA. That game in the third inning, no score.
How about that matchup? Kershaw, Bumgarner.
Yeah.
Those never get old.
And then in the American League West Division, the Mariners and A's are beginning a long series in Oakland tonight. Oakland leads that one 1-0. They're in the third inning as well. And there's strike 3 called on Souza, and he knew it.
The reason Jose Leclerc has had so much success this year, one, he's been on the strike zone a ton, and two, this pitch right here. You just don't see it very often. It looks like a changeup coming out of his hand. You see how he gets on the side of it, so it acts more like a slider. It's just not something you see very often. And Souza is thinking maybe that thing was going to fade in toward him, but instead, it's that little cut slash slider changeup deal that Jose Leclerc throws, and it's just been a deadly pitch for him.
Marte tonight 0 for 3. 1-0. Whoa. One runs away. Chirinos looks like he wants it a little bit further in this time, and that one too low. 96 miles per hour, but 3-0 the count now on Ketel Marte. So Leclerc could ill afford to put a runner on for free this inning and then have to consider the potential tying run in successive at bats. Rather not do that. There's a strike. A 250 average coming in, 10 home runs. A lot of extra base power, though, and good speed. High in the air. Playable in left. Tochi puts it away. 2 gone. Well, thanks to T-Mobile, fans can receive a 20% discount on Fridays for the all-you-can-eat seats in the home run forums. Get your tickets in the all-you-can-eat seats for this Friday with the Angels in town to take on the Rangers. Use coupon code T-Mobile at TexasRangers.com/specials. All right, 2 away, and first pitch swinging. This one pop foul out of play. Descalso trying to be aggressive up there. 0-1. Scalzo, a guy with 10 home runs this year, 47 driven in. Diamondbacks did the scoring early, 2 runs in the first. Greinke had looked excellent out of the chute today, but then the Rangers got to him, wore him down a little bit. Scored 4 runs on 6 hits. And a strike called, 0-2. Crowd today of short of 19,000 on their feet. The 0-2. Fly ball, left side of the infield, not playable. Well, Leclerc bidding for just his 2nd save of the year. 3rd reliever of the night, back of Bartolo Colon. Eddie Butler and Corey Deering both with scoreless work tonight. Swung out and missed, strike 3. Well, Leclerc with a perfect 9th inning and preserves the Rangers' 5-3 win